Welcome into Arvest Bank for the first ever Sam Pittman live Hog Pod. It's our second live Hog Pod. It's the first inside of a bank. We asked if we could do it in the vault, and they said no, Coach. So we're out here in the lobby.
I've got plenty of loans from Arvest, I can tell you that.
Yeah?
So, yeah, I've been in here before.
Does Jamie not handle all that paperwork for you, or you got to come in and put your John Hancock on there?
No, Jamie hands a lot of paperwork from credit cards, you know, when the thing comes out. She'll handle that paperwork. Other than that, I pretty much handle the rest of it.
So we're celebrating your 6th year this year.
Yeah.
Going into this is our 6th time doing this. We do this before every season. But what we're really celebrating tonight, and we just lured you here under this fake interview guide.
Yeah.
We're really here to celebrate Jamie spending 39 years with you.
Yeah, amen.
How about that? 39th anniversary on Sunday. Last Sunday, 39 years. So tell me how you pulled that off.
Man, I don't know. You know, it was, I couldn't have found anybody better. You know, you end up going our life, you know, and like the last 5 days or 6 days has been 14 to 16 hours. And that's just regular hours for a coach during the season, you know, and you have to marry someone that understands that and someone that is okay with being alone a lot, you know, during the season and all that. And, you know, I was thinking driving home, I just don't know how I could have found anybody that I could do what I want to do, help me do that and allow me to do that. And then for the first 8 jobs or so, she had to go find a job as well, which I had one. She didn't, so she had to go look for one, you know, which is difficult, you know, and you have to leave your home and all that stuff. So, yeah, I couldn't have found anybody that I would even be close to the last 39 years that I've had with Jamie.
I asked you on a radio show the other day if you'd given Taylor Green any advice about getting engaged or if he'd come to you and asked for any. And you said no, but what you would have told him was?
Yeah, just don't spend a lot of money. Go get in your truck and pull over somewhere off the side of the road and ask her, you know, and doesn't cost a lot as long as you don't talk too long. Gas pretty high, you know, so you either got to roll the windows down and turn your truck off or be quick, one or the other. And that's what happened with Jamie and I. And I mean, we hadn't dated very long. It was 6 months after we started dating. I think it was 6 months. It might have been a year, but I think 6 months after we started dating, I asked her to marry me, and then we got married about a year.
It does sound like a country song, Jamie. Yeah. And maybe you should sing one to her when you get home tonight.
Oh, no, hell, that might get a divorce. You know? Not very good at that.
Well, I asked her, I said, you probably thought this was a good idea, taking the job, but being the head coach at Arkansas and all that comes with that, the last 5 years might have been the hardest of the 39.
Oh, shoot, man, I'm so blessed, you know, to be here and these folks here. And, you know, people treat me like something I'm not, either that way or that way. And it just comes with the job, and you have to have really thick skin. And but the majority of the state is, you know, they want the football team to do well, and they understand that we're working as hard as we can. I do have good kids, and I've got good coaches, and it's hard to win an SEC, and they're all going to come down to close games. We have to figure out a way how to win that.
Can you believe this is the 6th time you and I have done this? I remember the day you got hired, and we were sitting in that media room, and we were just both looking at each other like, what just happened?
What happened? Yeah.
And here you are 6 years later, which, by the way, equals the tenure of Ken Hatfield.
Yeah.
The winningest percentage coach in the history of Arkansas football.
I don't know why we don't talk about him more. What a wonderful guy. Great career he had here. But, yeah, I mean, 6 years is a long time at any job. Well, that's as long as I've ever been at a job. But it's a long time to be a head coach in the SEC. And I mean, since the day, you know, guys, when you get a job, if you remember the day how you felt when you got the job, there's going to be hard times, and there'll be hard times if you kept the job you had too. But if you'll remember that, you'll always appreciate that day and your job. And so I remember everything vividly the day that we got hired, and still on cloud nine. At this time right now, I'm the head coach at freaking Arkansas, man. I'm the head coach at University of Arkansas, and it's a great, great honor. And Jamie and I don't take that lightly or for granted.
I got to watch a little bit of practice Tuesday. That was your 5th day in a row. I was out there for about an hour and a half. I saw a lot of good things.
Yeah.
I saw a really good-looking Taylor Green, some really good-looking receivers. I could go on and on.
Yeah.
We'll get into some of that. But I was going to ask you, as you go into year 6, you've been through COVID. Year 1, welcome to your first head coaching job. Here's COVID. Mm-hmm. And then you go through the transfer portal NIL era.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this is stuff that nobody's ever dealt with till this era of our game. And now what's the challenge? Going into this year, you've got maybe 40 new players.
Yeah.
And that's the transient nature of the game now.
Well, I'm fortunate that I only had one coach leave, and we replaced him. Really good man, good coach. We replaced him with Nick Perry, who's done a really good job at the corner spot. You know, so that's the good part of it. I have guys that's been with me before back. All the new faces, certainly are a challenge trying to figure out. I tell you, we've got really good kids. They work really hard. We're talented. But the challenge is finding their spot for them, where we are on the depth chart. It's just not like you're going to play X, you're going to play boundary, you're going to play field, you're going to play boundary corner, you're going to play field corner. Who is it? Who's going to do that? And then your depth chart going off of that, where are we putting them? We had a long meeting today about offense, defense, and special teams, and it went about 3.5 hours. But at the same time, we're trying to move people to make sure we have them in the right spots for them and for the team to win.
You have all 3 of your coordinators back among the coaches that you were just talking, all of them being back. But to have your coordinators,
huge.
And Bobby Petrino, year 2 with Taylor, but then Travis Williams with the guys that he's got, and then your special teams coordinator. How has that impacted this process for you?
Easy. It's made it easier. The guys know me. They know what I want, the expectation, and you go the other way. I know them. I know what to expect from them. I know what their really strong points are, and we try to use that. But just knowing each other, and then the trust factor in the building that, I trust that if I ask them to do something, that it's going to get done, and then I trust that they're going to have ideas that will help the entire program.
When you look at this all these new guys, and you look at your team, I've heard you say a bunch, you like your team.
Yeah.
And you always like your team.
Yeah,
but I can also see a little bit of a different look on your face when you're saying it about these guys, and then going out there and looking at that offensive line and the size you have in the secondary that maybe wasn't there last year. But what is it what's at the core of what you really like about this group?
They try to do, first of all, they're very respectful to each other. They like each other, and they try to do exactly what we ask them to do, which again tells you they believe in you. And everybody likes somebody that believes in them. And so when you ask somebody to do something, they go hard after it, trying to do it the way that you want it. They believe in you. We believe in the team as well, but that's really the core of why I really like this team, is because they believe in me, they believe in their coaches, and they believe in each other. And man, when you get that, it's really a lot of fun to be around, and then they have a high belief that we can win.
I don't know, you tell me how you did this, because you get 40 new guys in,
or more.
And you had to recruit them like that.
Yeah.
They're in the portal, and it's 5 minutes. It's not 5 months of, or 3 years, but like it used to be. And how did you get, what was your sort of philosophy to get guys in that were good players, but would also fit in with the guys in your locker room? Because these guys, like you said, when you're around them, they seem to really like each other.
Well, there's several things that go into that, but because the portal guy becomes in the portal and his phone gets lit up. And so then what you're trying to do is get a visit. if you get a visit, the first thing you're trying to do is get a visit. And then after that, then you do more homework. Now, some of these guys we knew because we recruited them before, or some coach on our staff recruited them before. We want to see if we can make sure that the parents come on the visit. Now, this visit may be a 4-hour visit. It may be 24 hours, but it's not going to be longer than that. All the, let's go downtown and out to eat and all this, show you this, do that. That was in high school. This right here this is business. This is a business decision. Therefore, I believe you're going to find out a lot about a young man if you find out about their mom and dad. And so we were able to bring a lot of parents on visits. And to me, we found out more about the young man, by who raised them. And boy, we got lucky because we got a lot of kids with a lot of great parents, and which it was more family, and they all seemed to fit in.
You're coaching a guy who turns 30. Do you have him just say, hey, can you watch the kids for a while? You ask him to watch the kids?
Yeah,
hey, can you go watch some of the kids?
He would.
Yeah.
I should.
Yeah.
But he does, but they call him Unc. And, he's had a really good camp coming into his own. Can you imagine, playing Major League Baseball for a long time and then going back to college and then being around 18-year-olds when you're 29 at the time? A lot of respect there, a lot of respect for him and the way he's handled all this, because it can't be easy. I mean, it can't. The game's hard, the practices are hard, all that stuff around. Plus, I don't have anybody in this locker room really close to my age, besides, a coach, or whatever, would be very difficult. He's handled it really well, and he's going to have a really good, Monte's going to have a really good fall and a really good season.
He's obviously a receiver. Let's go there, because that was one of the biggest position questions in the offseason, losing Tesla and Armstrong to the NFL. And in year 2 of Taylor, and what's all that going to be like? Tell us about some of these receivers.
So we have speed, we have size. Again, that was one of the ones where we had made some movement just positionally, whether they're outside, inside receivers. But I really like our slots and Raylan Sharp and Cam Shanks. I think they can really run good option routes and separate. And so I really like those two. And then, on the outside with Omega Blake, who is really talented, Andy Jean, Jaylen Brown, C.J. Brown, Monte Harrison, and our young guy, Antonio Jordan. I think we have size, we have speed. We can put guys in depending on route progression and schematics. They all can block. So I really like that group. I think that right now today offensively, they're all battles going on, but I think that's probably the biggest battle room right there of playing time, of who are your top 6, because you just can't. You can't play 8 or 10 guys in a game. I mean, you can, but you're not going to, you're not going to get a guy in rhythm and all that. So we've got to find out who our top 6 are, which is a good thing, because you're either going, man, we got too many. We don't have, we have two. We got to kind of cut this down a little bit on the rep wise, or we've been in situations as to who the heck are the 6 guys. We don't have them. We certainly have them now. We just have to figure out exactly who they are, and we still have 20 practices to figure that out.
Taylor Green was 40 yards away from the overall offensive record for a quarterback at Arkansas last year.
Yeah.
So when I ask this question, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
But what's different about Taylor Green, or better or improved from a year ago?
Well, he's 10 pounds heavier of good weight, and he's a year into knowledge of Coach Petrino, knowledge of, our quarterback has to do a lot more than just set hut now. I mean, he's going to change protections. He's going to move the mic. He's going to do things that he's going to do in a year from now in the NFL. So that's a tough position to come in, learn the offense, learn all the calls, start, because they didn't do that at Boise. And Boise really had a really good team. I'm certainly not saying that. It was just a different schematics. And so now learning all this pro stuff that will end up eventually helping him in the NFL and helping our team is difficult, very, very hard. And so now he's trying to figure all this out. Well, as you well know, a thinker is a little bit slower in reaction time, whereas I know what I'm doing pre-snap. In other words, who's playing the game before the ball snap? They are or we are. And the team that can play it before the ball snap better and understand reads. I think part of his deal was the speed of the game last year. I think it was just different in the SEC as well. So I think all those things, and he's a better thrower. He's healthy. That's a big thing. I just think you're going to see I've said it before, we have Taylor Green. They don't. We got a chance. And that's how I really, really believe that. And I think that's where he is right now. His health was much, much worse than what probably everybody thought he was. He was just really tough. But he couldn't do some of the things that he had done earlier and that he's certainly able to do now.
Yeah, after that hit in the Tennessee game. Yeah.
We're lucky we didn't lose ACL right there because that was
an ugly
that's
hit.
A planted leg with straight on hit in the front. Trust me, I know. I had one. We're fortunate that didn't go worse.
By the way, you look good bouncing around with that hip. It's like you got a spring. Is there a spring in there? Did they put what?
Man,
I mean, you're like bouncing around at practice yesterday. You like did a couple of pump fakes with the ball, like you were dropping back to pass.
Man, I feel good. I do. It's almost like I never had the surgery, if that makes sense. In other words, I don't realize that I have a new hip, if that makes sense. It's just like part of my body. And so, I had a new knee and a new hip, and it's gone great, and I'm constantly trying to stay off the cart because I need to get everything in shape, and stronger. But 3.5 hours of practice, from the start, the walkthroughs, all that stuff to the end of it, and to walk off there not sore or anything like that. It's been, I've been really blessed with a great surgeon and really been blessed with how it's come through.
Well, you don't spend much time talking about this, but for anybody to realize what it was like for you, not just tailing last year, but I mean, that was no fun for you the last 3 or 4 or 5 games of the season. To just grind it out on that painful. What were you, bone on bone there for a while?
With the broken bone in there too. So I had a few difficulties, but the thing about it is it kept making me think about the people before there was a hope that you could get your hip fixed, or hope before you could get your knee fixed and all that. And I'm going, I don't know what these guys did. I don't know if they just sat around, just drank all day. I mean, I don't know what they did, but something had to cure that, because if there was no cure for it, I just don't know how in the world you could live. It was that bad. And man, it's good now.
Well, you can see it all over your face. And it's always great to, go into August feeling like that, and having Talon healthy. And another thing about Talon's development is you went out and really made some moves on the offensive line.
We did.
That I know you feel, and as a longtime offensive line coach, considered to be one of the best in the country. Where do you think you are with that group?
Well, I think we're pretty good. I mean, if you look at it and you look at the outside, that's where you want to start with the center, and then your outside, your tackles. I think we're getting Corey Robinson and getting, Marion Harris is now up 28 pounds from last year, and Shaq McCroy is another big body out there that's a really good player. And then you were able to move Carmona inside. We're big. I don't know what we average, probably 320, 315, whatever it may be, that can move. We're every bit of 8 guys that can win an SEC, and I believe we'll eventually get more than that this year, just with young guys continue to develop. We really hit on 3 freshmen. How much they can help us, I don't know, but they're going to help us this year. They're really good players and up there. And so we're deeper than we've ever been. We're more athletic and we're bigger. and we've been doing a good job of protecting the quarterback and running the football. So I really like this group a lot. We finally were able to kind of match people financially up there, where you've got X amount of dollars and someone's doubling and tripling you. It's hard to keep them, and it's hard to get them in the door, which now, with revenue share, it's kind of equaled out the game. And as you well know, when it was all equal, we went from 4-20 to top 20, and then everything kind of changed. But now we're able to go out, and now the money's not a problem. So do you like me? Do you think I can help you? Do you think I can develop you like the University of Arkansas? Now it becomes a little more even in the recruiting. We were able to get them.
Yeah, it's a game changer. It would seem
big time for us.
And we don't have to go through. I'm going to go through positions here. As we're just this is kind of a season preview, and before
I'll
we
be a
move
little faster
over to
with my
defense, you're great. Mike Washington,
love him,
running back.
He's a good player, great kid. Can I do this during?
I did it earlier. I was trying to set you up for success. Just like the shoe game, I tried to make sure I didn't wear any sneakers that would do anything that would upend your game there. I mean, that's strong.
Well,
did Jamie pick those, or did you get them out?
I agree with you.
Yeah.
No,
they are.
No, heck no. Jamie doesn't.
He gets 2 pair of shoes delivered daily to the house.
Well,
that just gives him street cred.
Can you talk about Mike Washington or no?
Yeah.
I think that was a question.
Yeah, we're back to this. Does he
So-
run?
so
Is he
the
running his
summer-
shoes okay?
Yeah. This summer, so what happens every day you have a competition. Now you're talking about 8 weeks, you're talking about 40 days. And our strength staff, and they put together competition. In other words, all these quick drills and shuttle runs and all this different stuff, bag runs and all this, cone turns. And then they get a point for each time they win. And Mike was the highest total point winner on the team, which tells you I'm athletic, but also tells you I'm consistent, tells you that I'm fast, I'm quick, all these different things. But it tells you how you're built in the heart too. It has to, because talent does not necessarily mean you're good or you're competitive. It means you have some talent. And so I thought that was a really, really big deal that he was the number one guy on that. Braylon Russell's made himself better. Mike's helped him. And with Mike and Braylon back there, Rodney Hill, got a really good 3 guys back there that we can win a lot of games with. But Mike's the leader of that group, and he's fast and big.
Let's move over to the defensive line. Cam Ball's the guy everybody knows. What a great, fun personality.
Yeah.
Got his own barbecue business on the side.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's much of a business or him just making barbecue for all the guys.
He just wants to make it a business, but it's not yet.
Yeah. And but he's the guy we all talk about. But I heard an analyst say the other day that people are criminally sleeping on Arkansas's defensive line. Like there's more talent there than most people realize.
I like them. I really like the guys inside with Danny Oki and David Oki, and Danny Salih and Ball and of course Ian Graffard. Those 4 guys in the middle, I like them. I think they're really good players. And outside, that one right there, we've got the guys with Justice Boone and Quincy Rhodes, and then you got Charlie Collins, and then Ken Talley's a guy, Philip Lee's a guy. Are we going to play Philip Lee all the time, or is he going to be a pass rushing specialist because he can fly? And that's why we got him out of Troy. We got him because he could rush the passer. But we've got depth there. I really like the young kids that Deke recruited, the freshman class. I don't know how many is going to help us this year. We'll see. But those 5 guys right there, I think, can play. Oh, and Frank Muipola.
Nice.
Muipola.
Thanks for not asking me to say it.
Frank he's a good player too. He's a big guy that can run, and so I like that group. And they them and the O-line get after it all the time, but got a good relationship,
linebackers, you got two guys that some people say could be the best duo in the league.
Yeah. Sorey and Steven Dix, you know, and then you got Bradshaw added in there. You know, Trent Whalen came in. He's really helping us there as well. Sorey's as good as anybody has, in my opinion. And Dix
he came from Georgia, right?
He did. And Dix is a Mike linebacker, big old physical guy. But Andrew Harris is a guy I think we need to talk about, or at least mention, because he's a good player, can really run. He's emerged, in my opinion, over the last 5 practices as well. So we're becoming Tavion Wallace. We're becoming a little bit deeper there at the linebackers position. But Sorey is definitely, him and Dix are the leader of that group.
You know, when we talk about the transfer portal and not knowing who guys are and how they're going to play, I think of Larry Worth, the third, who's playing in the secondary for you. And his story of not having a scholarship coming out of high school and going to Jacksonville State as a walk-on.
Yeah.
And 3 years later, he's starting in the SEC, and he's maybe one of the best players in this league, certainly one of the leaders on your team. And nobody knew who this guy was when he came to Arkansas.
You know, he's got a unique story because someone should have, because he ran 47-something into 400 meters. That's flying for a big dude. I mean, it's flying for a little cat. But in other words, he'd have beat me somewhere around 80 to 100 yards. Well, meters. I'm sorry. You know, it's not yards anymore. But he's got really good. I like those. I like our safeties. You know, I like those. Hog could also be called a safety. And I like those guys. Miguel Mitchell, Larry Worth. Larry Worth's big and can run. Miguel Mitchell's really I really, really like him. He looks great. And then Jordan Young over there at the hog position is, you know, he had the shoulder surgery in spring, and he's coming on along with Caleb Wooden, Shakir Smalls. So we've got some guys back there, and you're going to ask me about the corners. I love them. I think we're big, we're long, we can cover, we can cover in man. It's some things that we weren't quite comfortable with in the past, and I'm talking about in the 5 years past. We've had good corners now. Don't get me wrong, but I think we have a plethora of the corners that can cover. And I'm if I'm excited about anything defensively, I am. The secondary is what I'm really, really excited about, which has been a little bit of a question mark over the last couple of years.
Yeah, when I was at practice the other day, I saw those corners.
Huge.
I mean, they're like 6'2" and whatever, and I always get a little concerned if the corner's like my size.
Both.
I don't know enough about what's going on out here, but this ain't good.
Now, I love you to death, but I ain't going to play a corner. You know what I mean?
Or anywhere else, maybe outside chance at holder.
If you're good.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know, that's how Dow made it, right?
Yeah. Good point.
That's the only shot, but even he's got a couple inches on it.
No, you know, the league, everybody's so big. You know, I guarantee these guys around here, somebody walks in and they'll say, that's a wide receiver, that's a tight end, you know, whatever, because they're so big. A tight end might look like a O-lineman. You know what I mean? They're so big. The kids now and in this league, this is a big man's league. That's just what it is. And it's hard to survive because of the constant pounding. It's hard to survive in this league if you're not an overgrown man. And that's what we have on our team right now.
Speaking of this league, everybody asks you about the schedule. I know it's talked about like nonstop, but then they come out with like the coaches poll and whatever that's worth. You got 6 ranked teams on your schedule. There's a couple teams that have 7, and you're in the next group that has 6 ranked teams on your schedule. So how do you deal with that when the schedule's there, everybody sees it, and it's like, oh, what's sort of your approach though on the inside of the building, and how you go play 12 games, and do you talk about all these teams coming in and who they are, or what's your head coach approach to that?
No, we're not. We're not. Listen, there's years when you may approach something differently. The number one way to do whatever your building is, and mine happens to be a football team, you want to build confidence in that. So however you want to do it, and then, like I believe that we have a team that can win. It doesn't matter what the schedule says. I know the schedule, but I think we can win. So we're approaching us. We're trying to be the best players, the best team that we can be. And I told them I don't want to talk about Alabama A&M until the week prior to. And we're going to take it just 1 week at a time, and we'll figure out who the opponent is. And I told them I don't want to hear one word about Ole Miss. Don't want to hear one word about Arkansas State or Notre Dame. I don't want to hear any of that, because we'll have plenty of time to talk and more importantly, to prepare for that team, and we'll have plenty of time to do it. So, and we have a team that will allow us to win each and every one of those games as long as we prepare right, and it's more about us than it is about who we play, because we've got a good team.
You talked about the retention of your coaches and how important that is. Is there anything else about going into year 6? You look back on the last 5 years, all that you've been through, the good, the bad, and now here you go, and it's August, and it's nothing like right now. It's exciting. It's hope. Like I was driving down MLK, and it was kind of rush hour on the way here, and I was like, man, this feels like game day traffic.
Yeah.
It's just get kind of excited. But what do you love about where you are and where your team is, having 5 years behind you and going into year 6 with that experience?
Yeah, just the confidence that, when you're first starting to do it, you question a lot of things, is this practice schedule right? Are we, meeting enough? Am I having team meetings? And, just a lot of stuff that you don't know. So there's a comfortability of this is what we do. This is our schedule. Our schedule this year is, and, Kirby was that way at Georgia, but our schedule is exactly what it was last year. We played a Thursday night game instead of Saturday, so you adjusted days. But the confidence of we can get the team ready, and the confidence that I have the people in the building that can win, whether it be coach or player, that's what I'm enjoying right now, and the belief in each other and the trust that I have walking into the building each and every day.
How do you feel being on Netflix? The SEC Any Given Saturday show came out on Netflix a couple days ago. They got 7 episodes. Arkansas is in episode 3, I think. Is that right? And that's right. Okay. So you're worldwide. I mean, I don't know if you knew, but there's 300-something million subscribers on Netflix. So all over the world.
Yeah, my phone's been blowing up. Jamie, I need to talk to you about a few of them.
Yeah.
Trying to get to 40.
Yeah.
I'm teasing. No, those guys.
They didn't have one picture of you on Netflix? Yeah. You had everything there, and they got Chuck Barrett on there. Well, like, come on. What are we doing? They don't. Well, I think we should all cancel our subscription.
Well, I'm not, because there's some really good shows.
I'll tell you what, you can come on the Hog Pod or the Chuck and Bo show anytime, and yeah.
Now, the Netflix thing was pretty cool, they paid X number of dollars, as you know, to the school. And, they came in, they were here quite a little bit. They went to the Auburn game, which we won. So then I'm on the road. So I said, hey, man, make sure y'all come back, again. And then they went to the Tennessee game, which obviously we won. But they were around quite a bit for those 4 or 5 minutes that we were on, our section was on. they spend a lot of time here. Really
gosh,
classy
yeah.
people,
Yeah.
and you're right. I think there's no telling how many people will watch that series, and they're going to do it again this year.
So the prior 3 years, the 3 previous years to you coming here, Arkansas won a total of 8 games.
Yeah, it was
And-
rough, huh?
Yeah. And you mentioned, then you get in the top 20, you win 9 games, which I believe that's the first time that's happened since maybe,
For a while, yeah.
since Coach
Bobby.
Petrino way back was.
Mm-hmm.
And it hadn't been all perfect, hadn't been all great,
Right.
but you've won 3 bowl games. And,
Yeah, every one we played.
Yeah. And I just wonder, and I started asking athletes and coaches this a while back. We've done a lot of episodes of the Hog Pod, almost, 300. And I started asking them, like, when your time at Arkansas is over, when you're done being a Razorback, whenever that is, how do you hope people remember you?
Obviously the first thing you want them to believe in you as a man, your character and how you treated the state, how you treated the people. To me, that's first and utmost the number one important thing. I want them to remember beating a top 4 team, first time in 25 years that we beat somebody like that at home, going to Florida, being the first team to ever win in the swamp, hopefully winning every bowl game that we ever play. But really, I just want them to think about the love that Jamie and I have for the state of Arkansas, and that we did everything we possibly could do. What you don't know sometimes and you think sometimes it makes ignorance of all of us. And, so I think that I want to be known that we worked our tail off and tried to make the state proud of the team. And and the kids proud of their coaches. Really, if you can get that done, you don't need a whole lot else.
Well, we'll wrap it up with this. What do you want fans to know about this upcoming season?
I think we're going to score a lot of points, and I think we're going to get a lot of turnovers. I think we've got guys that can run. I think you'll really love the way that our kids play. We've got a tough team. They like each other. I think you'll see it. I think you'll feel it. And I want them to know that we're going to play our butt off for the University of Arkansas and the state. And if they'll come out, I believe they'll see that.
Well, congratulations again on going into year 6.
Amen.
Congratulations to you and Jamie on 39 years. We'll get Jamie our own show on Hogs Plus.
I thought it was her show now.
Yeah,
But
well,
she's talking over there.
If next time we'll have a mic over there.
Oh, Lord.
It'll be like,
I'm
it'll
not
be
coming.
like the late night shows where they got the guy in the band talking, But Coach, good luck. Good luck this season.
Yeah, man.
And
thank you.
we'll be
You're
here
a good
watching.
man. You're a great interviewer. And
I couldn't play football, so I had to do something. I couldn't
always
play
enjoyed
in the NBA.
You make people comfortable.
I appreciate
And
that. I
appreciate Arvest and Emery and you guys. I mean,
wasn't this
it's
cool?
been good to me.
Nice setup here at Arvest.
Great place.
By the way, I thought this was a symbol of you. Look at his helmet. They brought this helmet for the set. Look at the top of it. Normally they bring you
Someone
like
just
a
beat
new
the
one.
heck out of somebody.
Yeah, like they went to work. They brought us a helmet that's been in battle, which I appreciate. That's got some character to it. Or they dropped it in the U-Haul on the way here.
I wish that was my helmet, but Coach Holtz didn't want me to put one on, so I didn't. But I wouldn't want me to put one on either if I was coach. He made the right decision on me. But no, isn't that beautiful? It's
It is.
beautiful.
No, it's a
hog,
good-looking
and
helmet.
I think we're going to have a really good time this year. We've got a really good team. I think it's going to be a lot of excitement.
Well, we'll be there. We look
All right.
forward to watching it. Always appreciate the
Thank
time.
you.
Thanks for making it tonight, and good luck.
All right, go Hogs.
Coach Sam Pittman, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, buddy.
Good stuff.
Appreciate it.